Yeah, we'll pick up from the where we were last. What is important? Earthquake striking, or people dying? Understandably, because human resource happens to be the most important resource. So the death of people, the casualty is important. Therefore, the newspaper report would make the subject of his opening sentence the death of people. He'll begin the sentence death. He'll say so many people died. So many people died. D-I-E-D. As of an earthquake of a certain magnitude, which struck in certain village whose epicenter was so many kilometers north of this particular village where the earthquake struck. Fine. So many people died. Now consider the word died. Let's find out whether it is active, it is in the active or passive. People, for example, let's say 15 people died because of an earthquake. I can write like this. I can also write rewrite the sentence and say 15 people have been reported to have died. These are different forms of verbs that I am basically trying to make you familiar. I can also write like this. Alright. I can also say an earthquake killed certain number of people. Here the earthquake is important. If I say people were killed here the object is equally important by when an earthquake of this magnitude on Richter scale struck. So here were killed is another form of killed. An earthquake killed people and people were killed. So you see, in the first sentence, it is in this sentence that the subject is active, and in the second sentence something is happening with the subject. Come back to the first sentence, which I was giving you an example. 15 people died. Here, whether I say 15 people died, the subject is active, or whether I say 15 people have been reported to have died, again have been reported. This verb form is also in the active. This verb form is also in the active voice. I can rewrite this particular sentence. This sentence. What is this? I can say, instead of saying 15 people have been reported to have died, I can say I can also say it has been reported that these many people have died. Again, the verb form remains the same. Verb form remains the same. You must understand here that we use certain forms of verbs when we want to highlight the action of the subject. When we want to highlight the action of the subject, I'll use a certain form of verb. And when I want to highlight the action done, when I want to highlight the action being done, the action that is being done, then I use a certain other form of verb. For example, Rohit is doing utensils, I am highlighting the action of the subject. And when I say utensils are being done by Rohit, I am highlighting the action that is being done. So different forms of verbs, is doing and are being done respectively, are used in different forms of verbs. It is important for us to understand once again the different tenses and their corresponding active and passive forms. For example, in present indefinite, its corresponding active and passive forms. In past tenses, its corresponding active and passive forms. In perfect tenses, corresponding active and passive forms. But you must understand one very important thing, that this change of voice is not possible in all tenses. It's not possible. For example, if I say the boys have been washing clothes. For example, if I say this, I cannot rewrite this sentence by saying clothes. You will not be able to rewrite the same sentence beginning clothes. You will not be able to. You will not be able to do that. It won't make any sense. Even if it makes sense, you will have distorted the form of the verb. So we must understand that all active and passive cannot change of voice cannot happen in all tenses. For example, in this particular tense, have been washing is present perfect continuous. So I cannot change this voice form when the verb form is in present perfect continuous. I cannot rewrite this sentence without completely distorting the form of the verb. So all forms of verbs are not amenable to change in voice forms. This is an important thing for you or for all of us to understand. I can rewrite the sentence, but then I will have completely changed the form of the verb, distorted rather, without making any sense.